Narayanam namaskrityam naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamashloki bhaktir bhavati naishiki. Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, SriRadhaRasbihariTemple Vishaka ji ki jai, Sitaram Hanuman ji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are reading from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 87, which is titled The Prayers of the Personified Vedas. And we will discuss verse 22 today. Today is also the disappearance day of Srila Lokanath Goswami. So we will also discuss something about Srila Lokanath Goswami. Is there a meter to this? Yes. We'll just chant. We'll just recite. So, is there a meter, Prabhuji? Is there a meter to this verse? It's prose? No, I'm asking, is there a meter to chant this verse? I think it's a long verse, right? It's just... No, He chanted? Brahma Samhita? He'll try. Tvad anupatham kulayamidam atma surit priyavat charati tathon mukhe tvai hite priya atmani cha na bata ramantaho asad upasanayata yatmohano yad anushaya bhramat uru bhayaku sharira bhrita Tvad anupatham kulayam idam atma surit priyavak charati tathon mukhe tvai hite priya atmani cha na bata ramantaho asad upasanayatmahano Yad anushaya brahmaturu bhaya kuru sharira bhritta Tvad anupatham kulayam idam atma surit priyavak charati taton mukhe tvai hite priya atmani cha na bata ramantaho asad upasanayatmahano yad anushaya brahmaturu bhaye kuru sharira bhritta Tvad anupatham kulayam idam atma surit priyavak charati taton mukhe tvai hite priya atmani cha na bata ramantaho asad upasanayatmahano Yadanushaya brahmaturu bhayaku sharira bhritta Charati taton mukhe tvai hite priya atmani cha. Nabata yamantaho sadupasanamyatmahano. Yad anushaya brahmati uru bhaya kuru sharira britta. Matajis? Tvad anupatham kulayam idam atmasurit priyavag. Charati taton mukhe tvai hite priya atmani cha. Na batay anvantaho asad upasanayatmahano. Yad anushaya brahmanti uru bhayaku sharira britta. Word for word. Tvat, you. Anupatham, useful for serving. Kulayam, body. Idam, this. Atma, self. Surit, friend. Priya, and beloved. Vat, as. Charati, acts. Tatha, nevertheless. Unmukhe, who are favorably disposed. Tvai, in you. Hite, who are helpful. Priye, who are affectionate. Atmani, who are their very self. Cha, and. Na, not. Bata, alas. Ramanti, they take pleasure. Aho, asat, of the unreal. Upasanaya, by worship. Atma, themselves. Hana, killing. Yat, in which worship of the unreal. Anushaya, whose persistent desires. Brahmanti, they wander. Uru, greatly. Bhaye, in the fearful material existence. Ku, degraded. Sharira, bodies. Brita, carrying. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. When this human body is used for your devotional service, it acts as one's self, friend and beloved. But unfortunately, although you always show mercy to the conditioned souls and affectionately help them in every way, and although you are their true self, people in general fail to delight in you. Instead, they commit spiritual suicide by worshipping illusion. Alas, because they persistently hope for success in their devotion to the unreal, they continue to wander about this greatly fearful world, assuming various degraded bodies. Purport. The Vedas have strong words for those who choose to remain in illusion rather than serve the all-merciful personality of Godhead. The Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 4.3.15 states, Aramam asya pashyanti na tam pashyanti kaschana na tam vidhata ya iman jajan nan yad yusmakam antaram bahuva niharena pravritta jalpya chasu tripta uktha shashash charanti. Everyone can see the place where the Lord manifested Himself in this world for His own pleasure, but still no one sees Him. None of you know Him who generated all these living beings, and thus there is a great difference between your vision and His. Covered by the fog of illusion, you performers of Vedic rituals indulge in useless talk and live only to gratify your senses. The Supreme Lord pervades this universe, as he says in the Bhagavad-gita 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat. Nothing in this world, not even the most insignificant clay pot or shreds of cloth, is devoid of the presence of the personality of Godhead. But because he keeps himself invisible to envious eyes, avyakta murtina, materialists are misled by his material energy and think that the source of material creation is a combination of atoms and physical forces. Displaying their compassion for such foolish materialists, the personified Vedas advise them in this prayer to remember the real purpose for which they exist, to serve the Lord, their greatest well-wisher, with loving devotion. The human body is the ideal facility for reviving one's spiritual consciousness. Its organs, ears, tongue, eyes, and so on, are quite suitable for hearing about the Lord, chanting His glories, worshipping Him, and performing all other essential aspects of devotional service. One's material body is destined to remain intact only for a short time, and so it is called kulayam, subject to dissolving into the earth, kauliyate. Nonetheless, if properly utilized, it can be one's best friend. When one is immersed in material consciousness, however, the body becomes a false friend, distracting the bewildered living entity from his true self-interest. Persons too much infatuated with their own bodies and those of their spouses, children, pets, and so on are in fact misdirecting their devotion to the worship of illusion, asad upasana. In this way, as the Shrutis state here, such people commit spiritual suicide, ensuring future punishment for failing to carry out the higher responsibilities of human existence. As the Upanishad, Mantra 3 declares, Asurya nama te loka andhena tamasavrita tamste pretya bigachanti yeke chatma hanojana. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. Those who are overly attached to sense gratification or who worship the impermanent in the form of false materialistic scriptures and philosophies maintain desires that carry them into more degraded bodies in each successive life. Since they are entrapped in the perpetually rotating cycle of samsara, their only hope for salvation is getting a chance to hear the merciful instructions spoken by the Supreme Lord's devotees. Srila Sridhar Swami prays, Tvayatmani Jagannathe Man Mano Ramatam Iha Kada Mame Drisham Janma Manusam Sambhavishyati. When will I receive a human birth in which my mind may take pleasure in you, who are the supreme soul and the Lord of the universe? Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahityam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamshcha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadhyay Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virud Apa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambode Padambhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravirbhava Bhumestvam Nirdesta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishi Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatar Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojau Radha Madana Mohanau Nivradvindaranya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtalibi Sevyamanav Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambhi Vamshi Vatattatastitau Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinatha Shri Estunaha Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So firstly, I seek blessings of all the devotees and especially the senior devotees here that may be able to speak something relevant on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the prayers of the Vedas personified. This is Shukadev Goswami telling Maharaj Parikshit about a conversation that happened between Nar Narayan and Narad Muni. And Narayan Rishi is telling Narad Muni a conversation that happened between Sri Sanandana and the sages of Janaloka. And there Sri Sanandana is telling him about the prayers that the Vedas personified, glorified Lord with. So it is conversation in a conversation in a conversation in a conversation. Here, there are 2-3 things which we will highlight. The first one is the first line of the translation, which says, when this human body is used in your devotional service, it acts as one's self, friend and beloved. So when this body is used by people in the service of the Lord, this body is actually a friend. That's what the personified Vedas are stating. Similarly, in the Bhagavad-gita, Lord Krishna says, Atmaiva hi atmano bandhur, atmaiva ripur atmana. He's talking about the mind. Lord Krishna says, the mind, if it is under one's control, the mind is a friend. And when it is not in one's control, when the mind is not used, like Maharaj Ambrish, Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor. When the mind is not used in devotional service, Krishna says the mind is a greatest enemy. Similarly here, when the body is used in the service of the Lord, the body is a friend. In the purport, it is mentioned about the processes of devotional service, the 9 processes of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. These 9 processes of devotional service are specially performed in the human body. Animals cannot perform these, or it is only some exceptions of, like Gajendra, offering a lotus to the Lord. But primarily it is meant for the human body. The human being is meant to perform these services. There are, like we described, Maharaj Ambrish, those verses in the 9th canto, there are those 3 verses which describe the activities of Maharaj Ambrish. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo basamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane. Like that, every aspect of his body, how he is using to glorify the Lord, how he is using his eyes to take darshan of the Lord, how he is using his ears to hear the katha of the Lord, how he is using his hands to serve the devotees and serve the deity, how he is using his legs to go to the temple or go to the holy place, how he is using his tongue to honor the prasad, the remnants of the Lord. In this way, in the 9th canto, we are guided how this body can be used in the Lord's service, and therefore the body becomes a friend. There are examples of, like Ambrish Maharaj, in these 9 processes, it is described how Bali Maharaj, when Vamandev actually cheated Bali Maharaj and accused Bali Maharaj of cheating him and said that where is the 3rd step? The 3 steps were given for this foot size. And then the foot size became Huge. So the 3 steps were not valid. But then he accused him. So Bali said, my head is there. Please let me use my head in your service. You place your foot on my head. In the Ramayana, we read about Jatayu. How Jatayu used his body. He didn't even have a human body. Jatayu was a vulture, king of the vultures. But he used his body in Lord Ram's service. And in the extreme case, he said, I will, if I have to die, so be it. But this body has to be used in Lord Ram's service. And he fought with Ravan. And he fought very valiantly with Ravan. And he almost defeated Ravan. But anyway, this pastime had to go on. So Ravan was allowed to cut his wings. And Jatayu fell on the floor. He kept his breath just enough for Lord Ram to come. And then with his final breath, he told Lord Ram what happened and who took Mother Sita, which direction they went. And then he left his body. So after this whole war got over, Lord Ram, he says that I gave Lanka to Vibhishan, I gave Kishkinda to Sugriv, I was ready, I had given Ayodhya to Bharat, but I couldn't give anything to Jatayu. But what did Lord Ram give him? Lord Ram, Jatayu got the opportunity to leave his body in the arms of Lord Ram. And what Maharaj Dashrath didn't get, the Lord performed the last rites of Jatayu. Mother Sita, when the Pushpak Vahan was entering Ayodhya and everyone was showering petals, rose petals, Mother Sita remembered Jatayu at that time. And she said, this is just like when Jatayu's feathers were falling and blood was falling when he was fighting with Ravan. I am remembering Jatayu now. So, example of entire body fully utilized in the Lord's service. There are examples in the Bhagavatam of how the body is compared when it is not used in the service of the Lord. If we can go to the 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, and verse number 19. There is the description. Here the personified Vedas are saying, human body used in the Lord's service is best friend. Here is an example or description of what the Srimad Bhagavatam feels about a body not used in the Lord's service. Yeah? Go to the translations. Verse 19. Yeah. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels and asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. 20. One who has not listened to the message about the prowess and marvelous acts of the personality of Godhead and has not sung or chanted loudly the worthy songs of the Lord is to be considered to possess ear holes like the holes of a snake and a tongue like the tongue of a frog. Prabhupada says many times he gives this example. No? Frog's tongue just invites its death. He croaks, croaks, croaks and the snake comes and eats him. 21. The upper portion of the body, though crowned with a silk turban, is only a heavy burden if not bowed down before the personality of Godhead, who can award mukti. We can all now bow our head down. Jai SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Prabhupada ki. So head which is not bowed down to the Lord is just a heavy burden. And the hands, though decorated with glittering bangles, are like those of a dead man if not engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead, Hare. 21. The eyes which do not look at the symbolic representations of the personality of Godhead, Vishnu, his form, name, quality, etc., are like those printed on the plumes of a peacock. Peacock feather, it looks like eye, it's not an eye. And the legs which do not move to the holy places where the Lord is remembered are considered to be like tree trunks, useless, stationary objects. 23. The person who has not at any time received the dust from the feet of the Lord's pure devotees upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. The last one. Certainly that heart is steel framed, which, in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration, does not change when ecstasy takes place. Tears fill the eyes and the hairs stand on end. So, this is a description of someone who is not engaging the body in the Lord's service. It is just compared to dead, either dead body or immovable objects. So, we all are very fortunate that by the mercy of the devotees and the mercy of the Lord, we are able to use the body in the Lord's service. The prayers of the Vedas personified go on to say that although you always show mercy to the conditioned souls and are affectionate towards them, they do not know you. So the mercy of the Lord is there for every living entity. In the third canto of the Bhagavatam, the essence or the embodiment of the Lord's mercy is brought out by this verse where he's the deliverer of Putana. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigam sayapaya yadappa sadhavi lebe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalu sharanam vrajema. They said, who can be more merciful? Kamva dayalum. Who can be more dayalu, more merciful? And therefore, vrajema, worthy of my surrender and my worship than he, the deliverer of Baki. We recently celebrated Rath Yatra. So there is this divine trio of brother-sister, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. There is a demoniac trio of brother-sister also, Aghasur, Bakasur and Putna. So Baki, the sister of Bakasur, Putna, who came to kill the Lord, but she used a method that resembles a motherly method. She smeared poison on her breast and wanted to feed Krishna her milk, but what she actually wanted to feed Krishna was poison. And what did Krishna do? He just took the motherly affection. Bhava Grahi Janardhan. Like when we go to a holy place like Vrindavan, some of those kunds which are not very regularly bathed in, they develop a layer of algae on top, green layer. So what do? We just go. We use our hand to move the water a bit, and then below that there is the pure water which we sprinkle on our head. So Krishna is like that. He will remove all the desires which are not good, and he'll see, oh, there is something which I can link to my devotion. And Putana was delivered. Gave a destination like that of a mother, a nurse in the spiritual world. Kamva dayalum sharanam vrajema. Who can be more merciful than Lord Krishna, worthy of my surrender? If we are mindful, or if people are mindful, as devotees we are supposed to be mindful. If we are mindful, we realize that Krishna's mercy, Krishna's hand is there in every moment of our life. A very simple thing like sustenance, breathing. Now when we say breathing, now we are all aware of our breath. But this most essential activity of breathing, it goes on autopilot. We don't even realize. Only when we think of Baba Ramdev and some pranayam, then we'll do. Otherwise, breathing goes on. How is it going on? The super soul in the heart is inspiring this sustenance to take place. Srila Sridhar Swami, when he got inspired, he had already gotten married. And he got inspired at that time that, no, I made a mistake. This is not right for me. I want to dedicate my life in the service of the Lord. He approached his wife. And his wife told him, I will fully support your decision. Just give me one child. And then you please go and take sannyas. I will not come in your way. So he obliged. Unfortunately, what happened? During childbirth, his wife passed away. Now Sridhar Swami was thinking, look at the ways of the Lord. This child was supposed to become a license for me to take sannyas. But now I have to take care of this child. There is no question of sannyas. What do I do? Thinking thus, his eyes just went to the ceiling where a lizard had just given birth. The baby lizard just appeared. And so he was looking at the baby lizard. And just few seconds after the birth of this baby lizard, there was a mosquito, and intuitively the lizard opened its tongue, the baby, took the mosquito and digested it. Sridhar Swami realized, I am not the one who has to take care of this. Krishna is already providing for everyone. And then he made a nice cot, put the baby there outside the door and walked out. And just few seconds or minutes after that, one couple who wanted a child, were praying to the Lord for a child, but were not able to have a child, came, took the child, baby, and raised him. So the Lord is the one who is actually sustaining. And therefore, we should understand, as the Vedas, prayers of the Vedas are saying, the mercy of the Lord is there in our life. If we just see how we take birth, when we are in the womb of our mother doesn't even know who we are. Boy, girl, nobody knows. At that time also, food is provided to us in the womb of our mother. That our mother is not doing that. We all have affection for our mother. We all feel, and which is absolutely true, that our parents raised us, they have provided for us. But even before our parents, there is somebody who is providing. And the person who is giving the intelligence and the ability to our parents to provide for us, that is the Lord, that is Krishna. So in the womb of our mother, before our mother knew who we were, Krishna was providing. As soon as we came out, there was nothing we could digest except mother's milk, mother's breast milk. All this Cerelac and all is also just a formula derived from mother's milk. And the doctor doesn't give injection to our mother and milk starts to come. It naturally comes. Who arranged that milk? The Lord did. So such a simple thing as sustenance is provided by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, when Lord Brahma, in the 3rd canto, this is described, that when Lord Brahma was given this instruction, that now you have to create, he prays to the Lord. And he prays that, may I never forget that I am the secondary creator. Sarga Visarga, I am the secondary creator and you are the primary creator. It is only by your mercy and the knowledge that you have given that I have created. Let that pride never come in my mind that I am doing something, that it is me. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that we must be fully convinced of our inability, our incapability. We must understand our incapability in doing any activity and therefore seek the mercy of the Lord for the successful completion of our duty. Prabhupada writes, we must be convinced of our incapability and therefore seek the mercy of the Lord to be successfully able to perform any duty. So, in this way, when we think like this, then we can see the hand of the Lord in even small things. So as devotees, the more we go deeper into our spiritual life, the more we should be able to perceive or see the presence of the Lord in every small thing also. Srila Prabhupada's father used to tell him, Prabhupada says, my father used to tell me so many times that when Krishna wants to give you, how much will you be able to take? Krishna with his 10 hands will give you. And when the Lord wants to take, how much will you be able to save with your 2 hands when the Lord wants to give you? So in every aspect, the mercy of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada, any good achievement that used to happen in ISKCON, Prabhupada would say, this is the mercy of my Guru Maharaj. When more and more devotees started coming, disciples started being made, Prabhupada used to say, all of you have been sent by my Guru Maharaj. So, seeing the mercy of the Lord. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, many times when, towards the end, a couple of times I had the opportunity to just tell Maharaj, he had once shown me the new Dehradun land which had acquired. And he made me sit and he said, just see this video. And he was very happy that ISKCON acquired this prestigious property. And then I just told him, Maharaj, this is, your hard work, this is your glory, the disciples are guided by you. And he would just bow his head down and say, Krishna has been very merciful to me. And all advanced devotees we see, this is their mood. That it is the Lord's mercy. Even if it is very evident that their hard work was there, but they know it is not just my hard work, it's the mercy of the Lord. In a small thing like breathing or sustenance, to a big thing like a big temple or a big project or thousands and thousands of devotees. Ultimately the mercy of the Lord. Mercy of the devotees. So in this way, the prayers of the Vedas, they are saying that unfortunately, although you show your mercy to the conditioned souls and affectionate to them in every way, and although you are your true self, people in general fail to delight in you. Instead, they commit spiritual suicide by worshipping illusion. So not seeing the hand of the Lord, not seeing the mercy of the Lord, we see secondary reasons for things. And we think that I did it, or my father left me this, or the government did this, or this person did this, or my talent did this. That is worshipping the illusion. In the second canto, in the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, second verse, the Lord tells Brahma that anything that has value, if it is not seen in relation to me, it is not reality. Know it to be my illusory energy. So everything, animate or inanimate, can be linked to the Lord. In the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, Bhumi rapa nala vayu kham mana buddhi revacha ahankar itiyam me bhinna prakriti rashchada. All this dead matter are my external energy. This is my external energy, and by this external and by my energies, all of this thing is working. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina machstani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvavastita. I am in every living being. Because of it, everything is moving around. So, in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, the Lord tells us so many ways in which we can see Him in every object. Simple thing like drinking water. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Krishna is the taste of water. To big things. I am the ability in man. So many things. In the 10th chapter, there are I think 82 or 84 objects Krishna says that this is me. You can perceive me in this. So, anyone who does not perceive the Lord in anything, that is just illusion. That is the illusory effect of the Lord. And as devotees, we learn to see everything in relationship with Krishna. When everything is seen in relationship with Krishna, then that is reality. And when we see that the Lord, who is so merciful to me, has arranged this, and I use this human body in the Lord's service, then in this verse it is mentioned, the body is a friend. The last line of this translation, alas, because they persistently hope for success in their devotion to the unreal, they continue to wander about this greatly fearful world, assuming various degraded bodies. Persistently hope for success in their devotion to the unreal. Persistently. Again and again we feel, now my plan will work. Till now it didn't work, but now it will work. Hoping against hope. A definition of insanity is this, that you do the same thing again and again, but hope a different result. Prahlad Maharaj says, Puna Puna Charvita Charvananam. You are just chewing the chewed. So we understand from the Shastra that life after life we have tried to enjoy independently of the Lord. And life after life we have failed. And the proof is that's why we are still here. So Srila Prabhupada many times used to tell his disciples, this one life just give to Krishna. No matter what difficulties we have, what bodily difficulties we have, what difficulties with the mind we have, sometimes what difficulties with devotees we have, what difficulties we are facing through our karma. Some inevitable things happen due to our karma. Whatever difficulties are there, if we can somehow just go on in Krishna consciousness, this one life, if we can just think, this one life, I will continue performing devotional service, then life is a success. In the passing away of Bhishma Dev, that verse where it mentions that Bhishma Dev finally stopped speaking. Bhishma Dev attached his eyes to the form of the Lord, attached his heart and mind to thinking about the Lord, and in this way he left his body. Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport, this is the human way of leaving one's body in remembrance of the Lord. And here the personified Vedas are praying that this is the human way of living. Human body is a friend when it is used in the service of the Lord. And in that way, this is the success of the human life. Seeing the mercy of the Lord, feeling the mercy of the Lord at every step, engaging in the Lord's service, then we are saved from this illusion. Otherwise, this illusory energy is so strong, and it is so strong because it's the illusory energy of the Lord. It's the Lord's energy. And therefore, the only hope for a living entity is to engage in devotional service of the Lord. And in this way, we are saved from this illusory energy. So, just to summarize, in this verse, it is mentioned that the human form of life is the human body is a friend when used in the service of the Lord. The Lord is very merciful, but people captivated by illusion, they cannot see the mercy of the Lord, and therefore they try again and again to get a different result from the same activity, and the cycle of birth and death goes on. And different fearful situations of life take place for such a soul. Hare Krishna. So these were some thoughts on this verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. If there are any questions before we discuss the pastime of Loknath Maharaj, or if there are any comments or corrections on this verse. Yes, Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So my question was, Prabhuji, you told that we have to use the body in the service of the Lord, but we are, at least in my case, not in the intention is not pure. Like we are we are engaging in service by mercy of Vaishnavas, but we are doing it coming under the modes of nature or for my sense gratification. So we are not, the intent is not pure to please Guru and Gauranga. So how should we still go on the service and will be purified? And means how we can, so sometimes mind tricks us in saying that because your intent is not pure, you don't do the service until your intent becomes pure. So how we can look at this?
So the intent will only become pure by continuing to do that service. Shri Radha Govind Maharaj Ji says that people ask me that my मन chanting में नहीं लग रहा है, तो इसीलिए chanting छोड़ दिया. तो he says chanting छोड़ने से थोड़ी मन लगेगा. When you chant more, the mind will go. So this process of devotional service is all purifying. It can purify all our anarthas. It can purify the mind. And of course, there are some times where it is very evident that our intention is duplicitous. That we can avoid. And for that, to avoid that, we need guidance of devotees. So if there is at least one or two devotees are there in our life who are guiding us, who know about us, then they can catch that. Baki, whatever is internal, whatever is due to the modes, whatever is due to our past impressions of life, those will get purified, those will get cleansed by the process of devotional service. So we just have to go on with devotional service. Okay. So today is the appearance day of Srila Loknath Goswami. Srila Loknath Goswami appeared in the year 1482, 4 years before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Bangladesh, his parents' names were Padmanabh Chakravarti. His mother's name was Srimati Sita Devi. When Loknath Goswami was 16 years old, at that time his father, who was very friendly with Advaita Acharya, he sent him to Advaita Acharya to learn Shastra, the house of Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya taught Loknath Goswami. At that time, Loknath Goswami met Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, and they studied together in the school of Gangadas Pandit. And it is described that that is when both of them, at least Loknath Goswami, developed a very strong attachment towards Nimai Pandit, to the extent that he always wanted to be with Nimai Pandit. After their studies got over, Loknath Goswami went back to his village, and he started his own pathshala there. And he was teaching. Then word came that Nimai Pandit has started his preaching. Yes, he has become a devotee and he has started preaching. And so Loknath Goswami, that time just Loknath, during those 5 years, he was in constant separation from the Lord. And when he heard that the Lord has revealed himself, or that people have understood that he's the Supreme Lord, he went running. And he came to Navadvip, and it is described that when he came, he fell at Mahaprabhu's feet, and Mahaprabhu picked him up and embraced him. And now for the last 5 years, Loknath Goswami has just been thinking about Mahaprabhu. And finally now, he has again been reunited with Mahaprabhu. So he embraced Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu embraced him, and then Loknath Goswami couldn't stop crying, couldn't stop shedding tears. And Mahaprabhu made him sit. Mahaprabhu ensured that, he is fed, because 5 days, it took him a lot of time to come there. And then Mahaprabhu told him that I have some wonderful service for you. And tomorrow morning I will tell you. Now you go and you take rest. Tomorrow morning I will tell you this wonderful service that I have. So next day morning, Loknath Goswami came to him, and Mahaprabhu told him that I need somebody to assist me in rediscovering the pastimes of Lord Krishna which are lost in Vrindavan. I want you to go to Vrindavan, and I want you to revive and rediscover these places. That time Loknath Goswami became shocked. He said, 5 years I have been away from you. All I wanted was to be with you. Finally I have come to your shelter, and now you are sending me away. Please don't do that. Please keep me with you. Give me any other service, I will do you. Please keep me with you. Mahaprabhu said, no. Vrindavan is more dear to Krishna than himself. And therefore Vrindavan is very, very dear to me. So I am sending you to a place which is very dear to me. You please go. And Loknath Goswami again tried to plead. He said, no, I know. The real reason is there is no place for me in your heart. And that's why you're sending me. You please give me one chance. Don't send me. You let me serve you here. I cannot tolerate any more separation from you. So Mahaprabhu again told him that by doing this service and rediscovering the places of Vrindavan, you would be doing such great service to countless Vaishnavas. Here you will just serve me, but you can serve countless Vaishnavas, and that will be more pleasing to me than anything else. So when Mahaprabhu spoke like this, Loknath Goswami very reluctantly, painfully accepted. So next 5 days he stayed with Mahaprabhu. After 5 years of separation, 5 days he stayed with Mahaprabhu, and on the 6th day, it was time for him to go. At that time, Bhugarbha Goswami, who later became Bhugarbha Goswami, he went to Mahaprabhu and he volunteered that I would like to go and assist Loknath. Mahaprabhu said, very good. And on the 6th day, they both left. It's described that Loknath Goswami kept looking behind till Mahaprabhu was visible. And then with heavy heart, it went to Vrindavan. It took him 3 months to walk to Vrindavan, and finally reached Vrindavan. And over there, now this task was there, rediscover. Vrindavan had been completely covered. All the temples had been destroyed. So much looting had happened, so much destruction, that in Vrindavan was just an overgrown forest. And the only people who would stay there were tribal people at the time where Loknath Goswami went. So actually Loknath Goswami was the first person sent by Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan, even before our 6 Goswamis. And when he went there, there's nothing. So then they are doing their research, Loknath Goswami and Bhugarbha Goswami, they are doing their research to find the lost places of Vrindavan, and they prayed to Vrinda Devi. Because Vrinda Devi was the one who would arrange all the pastimes of Radharani and Krishna. She would arrange all the places of pastimes. So they prayed to Vrinda Devi for inspiration. Please reveal these lost places of Lord Krishna's pastimes. And like that, one by one, these places started getting revealed. Then they got news that Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. So when they got news that Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas, again Loknath Goswami's heart shattered that, oh my God, the Lord would be performing so many austerities now. It was unbearable for him to think about the Lord's austerities. And both Loknath Goswami and Bhugarabha Goswami, they went to Jagannath Puri. By the time they reached Jagannath Puri, again walking many months journey, reached Jagannath Puri, they were informed that the Lord has gone on a South India tour. So Loknath Goswami said, we must go. Now, it is not like Jagannath Puri, it is a place. South India is so big. Now, where in South India Lord has gone, they don't know. But no, South India Lord has gone, we will also go. And they went to South India. It so happened, whichever place they would go and they would ask about Mahaprabhu, people would tell him, Abhi abhi gaye hain. They've just gone. Thode time pehle they were here. They were just gone. Go to the next place, next place, next place, next place. Like that, everywhere, Mahaprabhu has just left. And then finally they were told, Mahaprabhu gone to Jagannath Puri again. Went to Jagannath Puri. No, Vrindavan gaye. They were, Hare, we are supposed to be in Vrindavan. That is the service which the Lord has given. We are trying to search him. Now he himself has gone. We better reach before he has gone to Vrindavan. They reach Vrindavan. When they reach Vrindavan, we can guess what news they got. The Lord has just few days ago, he was in Vrindavan. He has just left. Now bewildered, they're like, what, where should we go again? That night, Mahaprabhu came in Loknath Goswami's dream. And he said, enough now. Abhi mere piche mat aao aur don't come. In this lifetime, you will not get my darshan again. You imagine, this is the reciprocation of the Lord. Sometimes Lord's reciprocation can be difficult to digest. The Lord who has sent him to Vrindavan alone with Bhugarabha Goswami, nothing else, is telling him, this lifetime, no darshan. Please perform your service and we will be reunited. So then they said, okay, chalo, now we have to get serious with this. And the two of them rediscovered 333 Leela Stalis of Lord Krishna. 333. And by that time, Mahaprabhu had sent Rup Goswami and then Sanatan Goswami to Vrindavan. So what Loknath Goswami did is, all this research which he did, all these things which he found out, he handed over to Rup and Sanatan, who were very, very, very appreciative of the work that Loknath Goswami has done. And then Loknath Goswami decided, now I want to focus on my bhajan. And so he retired to a place called Kishori Kund. And over there, he started performing his bhajan. At that time, he developed an intense desire to worship the deity form of the Lord. So it so happened one day, a very, very beautiful person in the form of a tribal man. He went to Kishori Kund, and from the depths of the Kund, he brought out a deity, which was later called as Radha Vinod, the worshipable deities of Loknath Goswami, which are right now there in Jaipur. Small size, this much, worshipped in Jaipur. And so, when Loknath Goswami saw this personality, he became amazed. He was in awe. Such a beautiful person. I've never seen such a personality before. Of course, he had seen Mahaprabhu, and now after Mahaprabhu, he's seeing such a personality. And that tribal man smilingly gave the deity in Loknath Goswami's arms and disappeared. And Loknath Goswami stunned. Who's this person? Where is he gone? And then laughter noise came. Where is this laughter coming? Look down. The deity was smiling. And then the deity smiled and then told him, I am hungry. Feed me. And then he realized that that person was none other than Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna came in that form and presented his Archa Vigraha form. And so from that day onwards, Loknath Goswami very lovingly would worship every day Radha Vinod. And he had made a jute basket and a patta. And he would carry the deity with him in that jute basket which he would tie around his neck. And when rain would come, in the hollow of a tree trunk, he would place Radha Vinod. And this way he was worshipping Radha Vinod. One day, one of his servants, his name was Balak Ram. Balak Ram used to assist Loknath Goswami in cooking for Radha Vinod. They would cook a lot of variety of bhoga and offer to Radha Vinod. So one day when Balak Ram came to Loknath Goswami's Bhajan Kutir, he saw that Loknath Goswami was just smilingly looking at Lord Krishna like this. And Radha Vinod, obviously he had a smiling posture. So Radha Vinod is looking at Loknath Goswami smiling, and Loknath Goswami is smiling and looking at Radha Vinod. And it was time now for this prasadam cooking, the bhoga cooking to start. But how could he disturb this, intense, loving emotion that is going on between the Lord and Loknath Goswami? So he waited for some time, then he thought, no problem, I will start the bhoga preparation and then Loknath Goswami will come. And after a while, Loknath Goswami came. Okay, we have to do, chalo jaldi karenge, time ho raha hai. He started assisting. Then some ingredient was required for which the servant Balak Ram had to go out. When he went out, he saw Loknath Goswami is standing like that, looking at Radha Vinod in that same posture. He said, Hare, abhi to mere saath andar kitchen mein the. He's out. He brought the ingredients, went back in. Loknath Goswami was still out like that. Went inside, he saw Loknath Goswami is still cooking. What is this? Went out, saw Loknath Goswami staring at the deity. And at that time, Loknath Goswami's meditation broke. And he went inside. And then the servant realized that the Lord has expanded himself in this form to assist so that Loknath Goswami is not disturbed in his meditation. And Krishna expanded to look like Loknath Goswami to assist in his cooking. And so then they made the bhoga, they offered him. Loknath Goswami had because of his intense devotion, lot of devotees would want to take initiation from him. But he had taken a vow that I will never accept any disciple. At that time, Narottam Das Thakur, who was just Narottam, the son of a king, aristocratic background, he was in Vrindavan and he was deeply inspired by Loknath Goswami. And he wanted to take initiation from Loknath Goswami. In fact, he got a letter of recommendation from Srila Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami told Loknath Goswami, accept him. When the son of a king, such an aristocratic person, comes in our line, that itself will be great preaching. We say sometimes some person from IIT or some very rich congregation, they become devotees, we feel prestigious hoga, such a person is connected to ISKCON. So he gave him that reason, that please accept him as your disciple, it will be great preaching. He said, no, I'm sorry, I've taken this vow. So then Narottam Das Thakur thought, no problem, I will serve him and do menial service. So what he would do is at night, he would do pradakshina of the bhajan kutir of Loknath Goswami. And as we have heard, he would go and he would clean that place in the forest where Loknath Goswami would evacuate. And he would make that place very clean every night. So that before Loknath Goswami would come there, the place would be clean. And Loknath Goswami, after 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, started wondering, how is this? Usually it should be there, you'll cover it with some leaves, eventually it will get buried or, animals will take care of it. But this place is clean, the leaves are cleaned, everything is clean. So after 1 year of this going on, one day he thought, I will get up earlier than usual and he went and he hid behind a tree, behind a bush to see who's doing this. And then he saw that early in the morning, Narottam Das Thakur is coming there and he's cleaning, so he caught him. He said, why are you doing this? He said, you didn't want to accept me as a disciple, but I want to do this menial service for you. He said, no, but you are the son of a king. This is not good for you. You should not be doing this. He said, I may be the son of a king. That is just external. I am actually a servant of the Vaishnavas. So please don't take this opportunity away from me. And you please reconsider, you accept me as your disciple. Loknath Goswami again said, no, I have taken a vow. But the next day, he changed his mind. He said, okay, I will break my vow for this one person. And he will, okay, one and only disciple. I will not accept any more disciples. I will accept you as my disciple. And so then Narottam Das Thakur was initiated by Loknath Goswami. And then Narottam Das Thakur was sent. The three of them were sent by Jiva Goswami. Shyamanand Pandit, Srinivas Acharya, and Narottam Das Thakur. They were sent to preach and to propagate all over Bengal and Orissa and these places. The teachings of the Goswamis. Now when Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he was given this order by Lord Nityanand Prabhu, went to Vrindavan and he had to write, he had to narrate the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before he started his work, he went to Loknath Goswami and he begged him that please give your blessings, give your mercy that I can start writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Loknath Goswami told him, okay, I will give you at one promise you have to give me. What? You will never mention my name in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So very reluctantly, now he wanted the blessing, so very reluctantly he agreed. And these are our acharyas. We will expect, किधर मेरा नाम फॉरवर्ड में क्यों नहीं है, इंट्रोडक्शन में मुझे थैंक यू क्यों नहीं बोला है, मैंने आपको भक्त बनाया था या मैंने आपका ये सेवा किया था, आपको मेरा नाम क्यों नहीं है. But he told him, my name should not be mentioned anywhere in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay? So that's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Loknath Goswami's name is not mentioned. But Krishna, he wants that my dear devotees should always be glorified. So you see you see Krishna's play. Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read about Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri left Remuna because people started glorifying. Gopinath has stolen kheer for Madhavendra Puri. And he didn't want that glory, so he headed to Jagannath Puri. And Prabhupada writes in that purport that, but the glory of Madhavendra Puri travelled before him. And Krishna ensured that everyone knew the glory. Similarly, Loknath Goswami's name is not mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But one of his disciples, his one and only disciple, Narottam Das Thakur, wrote this prayer, which we recite every morning, which Srila Prabhupada made as Guru Puja. The prayer which in every ISKCON center thousands and thousands of devotees chant. And in which he writes this stanza, Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokenath Lokera Jivana. And so now Loknath Goswami's name is chanted by thousands and thousands of devotees every day. This is Krishna's arrangement. So he didn't want his name to be mentioned everywhere, anywhere. And now his name is chanted everywhere, every morning, without fail. Then, in advanced age, when Narottam Das Thakur was sent for preaching, at that time he told Narottam Das Thakur, this is the last time you will see me. And then he entered into the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna at Vrindavan. His Loknath Goswami's Samadhi is there in Vrindavan, and it is mentioned as Pushpa Samadhi is there at the Radha Gokulanand temple, along with the Samadhi of Narottam Das Thakur and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And the deity of Radha Vinod was earlier worshipped in the Gokulanand temple and now is worshipped in a temple in Jaipur. So on the disappearance day of Srila Loknath Goswami, let us remember these pastimes. And let us pray to Loknath Goswami for his mercy so that we can also engage in our services towards our spiritual master and towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Loknath Goswami Tirobhav Maha Mahotsav ki, Srila Loknath Goswami ki, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.